Alright, so we've set up the header and the footer, and we're ready to work on our views. So first thing we need to do is create a file to hold this view here. And at the moment we're just going to come up with something generic, and we're just going to call this page. So this would be considered a page view, whereas something else might be considered the blog view or a gallery view, etc. So right click on views over here, choose new, file, and we'll call this page. Now, if any of you have ever worked with WordPress or something like that, some of this might start seeming a little familiar. I'm not necessarily doing it just like WordPress at all, but some of the concepts are kind of crossover. Okay, so let's take this page.php and just let's throw it over here in between footer and header. And if you're not using a full-size screen like I am, then this isn't necessarily how you'd want to do this. But if you do have the screen space, go ahead and do this. So let's go ahead and cut out this div here, paste it over here in page.php, save that, and we're going to go ahead and include that. So I'm just going to copy this include, and we'll change some things here. Copy, paste that. Now we're not going in the template folder anymore. We're going to go in the views folder. So let's go ahead and really quick come into config and then setup. And here's our constants. Let's go ahead and add a constant for our views. So just go ahead and copy line 9, paste it below. And remember, D stands for directory, or folder if you call them folders. And we'll just call this view. And then the value of this constant, remember a constant is a variable at its core. It works the same or similar. It just holds a value. And this value needs to be the name of the folder, which is going to be views. And save that. Hop back over to index. Change this constant here to view. And for the moment, let's go ahead and just say page. But we want this to be dynamic at the end of the day. So this will change. But for testing purposes, we want to make sure that it actually loads something. And we'll just change this comment. I'm going to call this view type because this is pretty much whatever files are in this views folder will relate to the view type. What type of page or item, I don't know. I'm not sure how we're going to word that because we're already using the term page to refer to this specific kind of layout. But in essence, everything we're loading is the entire thing is a page. So yeah, we'll figure that out as we go. But this is the view type. And in this case, the view type is page. Pretty sure I just over-explained that. Alright, so save that. And I think we have all the pieces correct here. So we can go ahead and test this. Go back to the browser, and really we're not going to see anything special if we did it right. So as long as everything looks identical to what we see right here, then we did everything right. So refresh. And we failed. And that's interesting. Let's go back to Aptana. It's saying that our constant has not been defined, which means we screwed something up with our setup. Ah. Alright, I caught what I did. The issue here is that we are actually defining this constant after we're using it. So the use of constants in this situation is not actually going to work because it's running all these includes before the setup file is even run. So while I work out a different way of doing that, let's go ahead and just hard code in those names. So let's remove this concatenation. And we'll just type them in. I really only showed you those constants anyways as just an example of how you can use constants. So we might have to come up with a different way to load that if we want to use them in the future. So this will be template. This will be views. And this will be template. So save that. And again, if everything looks correct, then we did our job. There we go.